You don't feel lost because something is wrong with you. You feel lost because you were trained to become someone else. And the worst part is, it worked. What you are experiencing is not confusion. It is the result of a system that replaced your internal reference with external correction before you could question it. And if you stay inside that system, 3 questions will keep repeating. Why do I feel like I'm not the person I was supposed to be? Why can I understand everything, but still not act clearly? And why do I keep ending up in the same patterns? These are not psychological mysteries. They are structural consequences. And once you see that, you cannot unsee it again, even if part of you would rather not know. Chapter 1. What if you were never allowed to become yourself? Anna does not trust her own perception, but it does not feel like doubt. It feels like hesitation before a thought can fully exist. When she decides something, she questions it immediately. Not because it is wrong, but because it is hers. Growing up, nothing she did stayed stable. Her mother could approve something one day and reject the same thing the next, without explanation. There was no pattern, no rule, no consistency. So Anna adapted. She stopped orienting toward what she felt and focused on what would maintain connection. Her attention moved outward, and with it, her identity. She did not become unstable. She became responsive. And that is why something feels missing. Not lost, missing. Chapter 2. You didn't lose yourself. You were never allowed to build one. If you grew up with narcissistic parents, you didn't lose yourself. You were never allowed to build one. Identity is not discovered. It forms through consistent confirmation. A child tests perception, receives feedback, and learns what is real. But when feedback changes constantly, identity cannot stabilize. Something can be right in one moment and wrong in the next. Not because it changed, but because the parent did. So the child adapts to unpredictability instead of reality. You stop asking what is true, you ask what is safe. And safety depends on alignment. That is where identity formation breaks, not because you failed, but because the system removed the conditions required for it. Chapter 3. Shu. When following becomes permanent. In Japanese training logic, the first phase is Shu. It is the stage of imitation, where rules are followed to build a foundation. It is not meant to last, but in unstable environments, Shu becomes permanent. Anna learned to observe before acting. She tracked tone, timing, and subtle shifts, because these determine safety. Her system became highly accurate at reading others, but accuracy has a cost. The more she read others, the less she trusted herself. Over time, her perception did not just lose authority. She began to distrust it even when it was right, because every clear feeling carried risk. Not that she was wrong, but that she would be told she was. And if that happens often enough, something changes. You don't stop seeing, you stop believing what you see. And that creates dependence, not because you lack clarity, but because clarity no longer feels safe. Chapter 4. Ha! The break that never happened. The second phase is Ha. This is where structure is questioned and partially broken. It is where identity begins. But for Anna, breaking the structure had consequences. Questioning led to conflict. Conflict led to withdrawal. And for a child, withdrawal means loss. So the system adapted again. It avoided disruption. Instead of testing boundaries, it preserved alignment. Instead of disagreement, it refined agreement. This creates a pattern. You see what is wrong, but you do not act, because the cost of deviation still feels higher than the cost of losing yourself. Chapter 5. Re. The part that never stabilized. The final phase is Re. It represents independent structure, action based on internal clarity. Anna never reached this phase. Not because she could not, but because the transition never had a stable breakpoint. Without separation, nothing new can form, so both systems run at the same time. In one moment, she sees clearly. In the next, she adapts automatically. This is not confusion. It is overlap. One system learned, one never formed, and the unformed one has no authority. Chapter 6. Why the same patterns keep repeating. If your system is based on adaptation, it will not just repeat patterns. It will protect them. Because what looks like a wrong choice is often the only environment where your system can function. Clarity feels unfamiliar. Consistency feels suspicious. Not because they are bad, but because they remove what your system depends on. Adjustment. When you meet someone stable, there is nothing to read, nothing to fix, and instead of relief, something else appears. Disorientation. Because for the first time, you are not needed in the way you were trained to be, and that feels more uncomfortable than chaos. Chapter 7. The first interruption. There is a moment where the system reveals itself, not through insight but through friction. Anna notices a delay between what she feels and what she says, between what she sees and what she allows. This delay becomes visible, and inside it, something appears, a space. In Japanese thinking, this is called ma, the space between stimulus and response. This space is where choice exists. It does not require effort. It appears when the system is no longer automatic. And once it appears, something shifts. Not behavior. Authority. Chapter 8. The point where everything shifts. At this stage, most people try to act differently. They try to set boundaries or speak up, but this creates a problem, because the same system that learned to adapt is now trying to perform authenticity. And performance is still adaptation, so nothing changes. Only the role improves. The shift does not begin with action. It begins when you stop participating in what is not yours, even if it feels familiar. Discipline is not what you do. It is what you no longer negotiate. It means automatic adjustment is no longer allowed. Not later, not when it feels easy. At the exact moment you recognize it, because that moment changes everything. Then something becomes visible that was hidden the entire time. You were never you. Anna does not feel like a different person, but something has stopped. She is not adjusting as quickly, not explaining as much. And for the first time, a question appears from clarity. If I was trained to become someone else, then who exactly has been making my decisions this whole time?